Okay. 3, 2, 1. And we're live. Welcome, everybody.
Yay. Welcome, fam.
Welcome back. Our anime podcast, Attack on Weekly, for 2 episodes, 14 and 15.
We didn't get to attack last week.
Forgot
So
to
now
attack.
we have to attack
even though,
twice as hard.
sadly, the episode that would have aired last week was very good.
I am so... Okay, so for people who are unaware or watching in the future, and they're not aware of, like, earthquakes.
Right.
Like an earthquake.
Or they live in a
So,
place like I do where we just never have them.
Yeah, I don't really have earthquakes that much. I only had one. I've only experienced technically 2, but the one big one was at Anime Expo when I was in LA. So I'm on the exact other side of the country, so we don't really get those that much.
Right.
But so last week, the weekend of March 14th, 2021, there was an earthquake in Japan which delayed the broadcast of episode 14. So we had like 3/4 of the episode out, but it was not officially released until this week, March 21st, where we got episode 14 and 15. So we're going to discuss both of them because we didn't get to discuss one last week.
Right.
So, so that's catching it up for everyone who is either unaware or is watching in the future and is not paying attention to earthquakes. So,
Yes.
you guys
In
know.
case
the
you
vibes.
catch this in half a year and you're like, wait, what? They skip a week. That's
Yeah.
fine.
So also, I heard it was not too bad of an earthquake, but also just,
I think it was like 5 on the scale, so
yeah,
not
I don't think they
nothing,
start
but
getting-
also not like widespread destruction and mayhem.
Yeah, not like, yeah. So like it was a mini
You could feel it.
You could feel it, but I don't think too many people. I don't think anyone got hurt. I don't know. If they did, we're sorry. Hope everyone is okay. But I do feel bad that if any episode was the earthquake episode, it was last week's episode, which was like the build up to 3 or 4 episodes worth of like build up. It was the payoff to that
Yeah, it was
build
the payoff, yes.
Yeah, it was not the build up. It was the payoff
yeah.
to the build up.
We
And,
got to see
a lot of
the
shit happened.
spinal fluid wind work, and we got
I
to
feel like
maybe anyone who's gullible enough to think that Levi would die got to experience the thought that, oh, is Levi dead? Until he reveals just a second later that, nah, you can't keep him down.
It was actually really funny because it was kind of like, you get to see Eren versus friends. And if you had any hope that Eren would, change his mind because of his friends, that was foolish. And then you got Levi versus Zeke, where if you had any hope that Zeke would pull one over on Levi, you were also disappointed. So it was kind of like 1-1 fam squad versus Jaegerists.
Yeah, it's true. There was a lot of... It's like he's sitting down to talk with Armin and Mikasa, and you're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Childhood friends, they've been through a lot together. Maybe they could talk some sense into him. And he's just like, no.
I fucking hate you.
I hate you. I hate you, actually.
I was watching with my fiance, and he, doesn't normally react.
That was harsh.
He'll walk... He was like, every time Eren said something that was like breaking down Mikasa, he was like, damn.
Damn.
And he's like, Mikasa, I hate you. And he's just like, damn.
Because we know how Mikasa feels about Eren. And it's just, he's just said nothing forever, and now he's like, oh, I hate you. Which makes me think he might not mean it, but then again, he's also crazy enough now that maybe he does.
Do you think it was like almost overkill on his part?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like Old Yeller, like, go on, get out of here! Throwing stones at them just to distance
mice
himself.
and men.
Mice and men.
He had to put old boy down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go on! Get out of here! I hate you!
Yeah. I hate you. That was funny. I mean, I feel bad for Mikasa because she was really just holding.
It's just her
she was
whole
holding on.
world.
Yeah, because she
down.
has been. It was almost kind of like a funny commentary because, as everyone who's been participating in Attack on Titan discourse knows, Mikasa has kind of been. I don't think a character has been shit on more than Mikasa for being so invested in Eren.
She was
people
a
call her
tier
an
3
Eren dog.
turbo simp from day one.
She was a turbo, and that was early on in the series. I think it was more compelling because she wasn't wimpy or whiny, so people could get behind her character more because they're like, yeah, she's dedicated to Eren and she's cute, but she's also badass and she leads
that happens a lot,
no nonsense shit. Yeah,
in anime, that a girl is like head over heels for a guy, and then she just goes around acting all dainty and whatever, and she's not strong. But Mikasa is like, okay, yeah, head over heels, all in on the Eren train, but also she could break your neck.
Yeah, and I think it was, at the time, I think it was also kind of refreshing that she wasn't really sexualized. Yeah. No one could really beat her except
Well,
Levi.
she's built and she's hot, but she's not like wearing.
She's not a fan service
things.
machine.
Yeah, she's not a fan service.
She's not. Yeah, maybe different type of fan service, but not the traditional
a different
fan
kind.
Service. So, yeah, so she was kind of like a breath of fresh air at the time, and then I think as the series has gone on, it's been kind of frustrating because you feel like all the characters have moved forward, pull one from the show, but she has a whole themes, but she hasn't been able to move forward as much. So that's been kind of frustrating for people. And now we get kind of like a reason for why she's been a tier 3 simp from like the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, the whole scarf thing, it's really stuck with her. It's just like, that's proof of his goodness. But that was one thing he did.
and we got to see in like the flashback a couple episodes ago, like when she remembered it, it's like this 10-year-old kid savagely killing 3 grown adults. Well, I guess he got 2 of them. Killing 2 adults, and he's looking at her with like covered in blood, and he's like, I'll protect you now. Like, that's not as wholesome as I think she wants to believe. Yeah, that's my guy. That's like some weird simping.
Get you a man who can do both.
Yeah, so that's like kind of a weird but like interesting recontextualization. But now we have, she was kind of like forced into it, and they have that one scene of like, what am I thinking of? They have the scene of her remembering her like kind of kicking instincts into gear, where like, he's like, fight, like if you don't fight we die, like that shit. And then it did feel like something awakened into her, and then she got like her super strength, and she was able to go off and like help him. And and it's like, according to Eren, that's like her Ackerman blood instincts kicking in and making Eren her host, who she's now like biologically sworn to protect. Like, she has these instincts where she must protect him no matter what.
Oh, right. So that's why she twisted Armin.
Yeah, like even when Eren is like, bitch, I hate you, also Armin, I hate you, and Armin is like defending her honor, she has to protect Eren, which is a very interesting thing.
I think it was on Twitter. I saw something funny about that whole exchange, which was, okay, Mikasa is strong but kind of simple. Armin is weak but smart. So he fought Mikasa with words and just beat Armin up.
I saw that. That was so funny.
Tactical genius.
Yeah. This is why Eren keeps moving forward.
That's right. He knows how to beat people up. Like, break her heart and break Armin's bones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I found it. When you know Mikasa is stronger than you and Armin is smarter than you, so you argue with Mikasa and fight with Armin.
Yeah, it's perfect.
That's the best thing I've seen. That's so happy.
It was so harsh, too. It's just, he did not need to go that hard on Mikasa. Yeah. It was so uncalled for. It was so mean.
It was so mean. It's not even just like, he's just dead ass like, yeah, I always hated you because you're not free and you're just a slave, which is like, so that's so mean. That's just so
it's mean. Also very mean. It's like, not only does not love her, he hates her. Oh, and you're like a slave because of some genetic thing with your Ackerman blood that makes no sense. Like, where the fuck does that come from?
I guess it was, I think they're saying, I guess it's interesting because it plays into the idea of like, bloodlines having different, strengths to them. Yeah, because we have like the royal family.
This is like imprinting. It's like they get one, like they have a charge that they have to protect at all times. They become the dedicated bodyguard.
I hate that Twilight made the first thing I think of.
Yeah, I was also thinking that for imprinting.
I know. Who
But
did it
the
better?
whole idea
Twilight
of
versus Attack
but
on
like the
Titan
whole
with
idea of the
imprinting.
first thing a baby animal sees is like, oh,
Yeah.
that's my mom. That's imprinting.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah. It is a biological
something
thing. They
gets
didn't make it up.
burned into their brain, and then that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That makes no sense for this though, because it's like a type of magic for them. It's like something triggered in her. She got a headache, and then she becomes freakishly strong when it's about defending Eren, and it has nothing to do with Titans.
Yeah, which is
It's just a
interesting
thing.
to see. Well, I guess that's their bloodline that gives them super strength, and then if it's an Ackerman thing, that would present the idea that like Levi has that too. His uncle Kenny had that.
Yeah,
so
that's what Kim in chat is saying. Levi's host was Erwin.
Which is why Levi wanted to keep Erwin alive. But that's interesting because he could sacrifice Erwin, but he is like very dedicated to protecting that like promise he had with Erwin.
I mean, Mikasa like snapped into action and stopped Armin, but she didn't keep doing that. After she did it the first time, she stopped herself.
Yeah.
So they do have some control over it. But also, isn't she supposed to be a princess from not Japan? How is she an Ackerman, actually? Wasn't she adopted?
Well, that's like one half of her. So she's like half Ackerman, half Japanese princess. Not Japanese princess, you know.
Yeah.
So she's got both of that going on. But I don't think the Japanese princess side has any real bearing on it. It's just, another bloodline. But yeah, it is like there are bloodlines that don't really mean shit. It just seems to be right now we know
Ackerman
that
it just means a lot to be an Ackerman.
Yeah, they're just built different.
They truly are.
Literally and figuratively built different. So speaking of built different, we also have Flosh being a big asshole and
that was Pogger stuff.
turning on Shadis, who's like, okay, so it's like badass that Shadis was like, it'll take more than these punks to take me down. Oh, that's the bald guy? Yeah, that's the, like, their old, like, drill sergeant.
The drill sergeant, kind of.
Yeah. And it was, like, cool that he was like, yeah, it'll take a lot more than these ones to take me down. And, like, obviously a significant amount of time passed.
Cut to being fucked up.
But he did get fucked up, yeah. Yeah, like, we know it's supposed to show, like, these guys had to do a lot to, like, knock him out. But he was still knocked out and, like, in our real time, like 2 seconds later. So I mean, it's also kind of ripped him.
It's kind of also cool that like all of the soldiers there are like, they're all thinking the same thing about joining the Jaeger crew.
Yeah.
And Flosh is like, okay, everybody kick this guy's ass, kill him, and anyone who doesn't will be thrown in a cell. And then after they're done, he says, everybody succeeded, you get to join. So everybody there turned on the sergeant. No one failed the test. It's like it's like when the Joker has tryouts in The Dark Knight, where he just snaps a pool cue and throws it in the middle of the room.
That's so funny. Oh wait, that's a perfect. That is
Flosh
like actually
is very Jokery.
I feel the Joker.
Reveling.
He's very He's definitely we live in a society.
Yeah, like, he is reveling in being in charge in this very chaotic way.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's so funny. I mean, like, I love hating him. He does serve a good role, but I cannot stop thinking fuck Flosh every time I see him. Like, just, it's an instinct. It's an Ackerman instinct of mine to say fuck Flosh every time I see him.
Whatever happened to Gabby?
Gabby is still probably held with Armin and Mikasa.
Well, because they had the whole thing where they talk about, oh, we're not going to kill you. And then...
We're not going to...
And then
we're not...
Eren wrecks the place.
Yeah.
Rah wrecks the place, and then and then Gabby's just kind of missing.
Well, I think they were locking them all up because at the end of the episode they showed Armin and Mikasa locked up, and I do think they give zero fucks about Gabby. Like, true. Gabby thinks they give more fucks about her, and they're like, "Yeah, you killed our friend, but like we kind of don't care because we keep moving forward." So,
I mean, I get that the point is forgiveness and like ending the circle of violence. But they could kill Gabby, come on.
They probably could. But I think it's interesting that Eren just doesn't care. Eren really just
would avenge her? The cycle of violence would be closed. There's no one left in that loop.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it would be shut.
Falco, but then, kill him too. Who cares?
Yeah, why not? Just add him to the list.
Yeah.
But it is interesting because in a very weird roundabout way, because Eren and Flosh and the Jaegerists are so concerned with the survival of Eldia, Gabby is somehow included in that, so she's not as much of a priority as much as like taking over the government to defend from the outside. So it's in a very weird way, their ideals consist with her being left alone because she doesn't inherently oppose those ideals.
Right.
So
she is Eldian, but she also hates other Eldians.
Yeah, and they're just like, we can just ignore that because we don't give a shit about you. Like, like fuck off.
She could go live in a society somewhere else.
Go live in a society of your
Falco
choice.
did do nothing wrong. Falco deserves a lot better, but you know what? This is where he is. He decided to go here.
He decided to. He was following his simping, and you know
he is truly the Mikasa of that relationship.
Yeah, right. Feels bad, man. Simps do not win in this series, and I feel for them.
That's the true message.
Don't be a simp.
Don't be a simp.
Being a simp is not freedom. Simp is the opposite of freedom, and I hate
If you're a simp, you're a slave. You have no control.
We need a thing of like Eren saying, "I hate simps."
I hate you, you fucking simp.
That would be so funny. I might
just put that clip on. It's like on Twitch when people subscribe, you have little gifs playing. Just put that on. Someone subs for like half a year. You're like, I hate you.
I hate you. Can you imagine that someone like becomes a tier 3 simp and then you're like, hey, I hate you.
Hey, you
that would
what?
Just be.
You know what? The people I hate the most? You. People like you. Not free.
Not free. Yeah. So I think that's kind of funny. And then on the other end of Built Different, we have Zeke versus Levi, which is
so good. Oh my god.
So good. So I love the beginning part. This was like a throwaway line that's I was hoping would be included, where Levi's like having fun kind of thing, and he's like, well, yeah, this book got better this 7th time around.
Yeah.
That's like, they didn't need to include that, but I'm so glad they did, just because I think the banter is a huge funny part of this, of just like, they both hate each other, they're both sarcastic, and they both hate these circumstances. And then that led for like the perfect, like things are chill. Wait a minute, everyone drank the wine. Wait a minute, Zeke is running away.
Wait, hold up. Hold up. It's just a series of unfortunate events. Because Levi is like going around there like, I don't care what anyone says, I'm gonna kill him. I hate him so much, and I want him to try and escape, so I have an excuse, and wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, not like that.
It's so funny. It's just so funny, because I love that everyone has these complex, everyone kind of has these complex ideals of like who they're fighting for, and then you just have Levi's like, I'm gonna kill the monkey.
I just hate him.
Will kill the
monkey
no matter what.
Monkey. He's Team Godzilla all the way.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so he's Team Godzilla all the way. And then, like, when you see, I think my favorite part, of course, it's kind of cool that we finally get some action scenes, which we haven't gotten since the Marley attack. And it did feel like old-fashioned.
It's been so long.
It's like it's been 100 years kind of meme.
I was there 80 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's really funny that it's just like, I remember the line where Zeke is like, how are you going to take down 30 of your precious comrades? And we're like, oh no, you don't know Levi.
I guess you don't know Levi as well as you thought you did.
Yeah, like, are you unaware of what he's done to get to this point? Yeah. And then the scene they show of Levi being like, not this shit again, and it's like his dead eyes get squintier and look more dead. So it's just like, how progressively dead inside can he
we did
look?
see him be a little bit shook. Like, he recognized the face of one of the Titans, and he's like,
yeah,
damn it. But it felt so nice. Just Levi absolutely bodying Zeke again. And then when he catches up, like, Zeke is riding away in the hand of another Titan, and Levi is just barreling straight at him, and he's like, not this again. And he bites his hand. I'm gonna have to fight him as the monkey again. It'll be the 3rd time he beats me. Fuck. Is
he technically 3-0 now? I wasn't sure.
The second one was planned. That was staged. That was like pro wrestling. They planned that.
Yeah, that one was fake.
But the first and this one were like, he did the Gon versus Hisoka thing of like, Just throwing shit in his face and hiding behind him.
Very strategic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just love that, of like, not this shit again. There's nothing funnier than Zeke hating fighting Levi. That's my favorite
He knows
thing.
he can't win. He's just fucked.
He can't. You know, the series has gone through a lot of changes since season 1. It feels very different. But one thing that has not changed is Levi absolutely annihilating people no matter what.
It feels so nice seeing Levi do Levi things.
Is Levi one of your favorites too? I can't really tell.
Think so.
I can't tell.
I think so.
Because I'm a simp, so I mean, I have no rights on this.
I have a hard
biased.
time picking favorites in this show. Like, I feel like I don't. I mean, Hanj.
I love Hanji.
Everybody loves Hanj. Hanji.
Yeah, Hanji.
Hanj. I was never a fan of Mikasa or Armin. Not really Eren either at any point. I feel like I like this side cast more. I liked Ymir. I like Levi and Hanj. Erwin was pretty cool too.
I think it's also like
that's it.
I think I'm not sure if this is you too, but early on I definitely appreciated the adults more. I felt like they were a bit more interesting just in the way that they related to the world and circumstances and the strategies, you know. And I think they did a good job of, you know, capturing our interest and intrigue just while the like younger cast could develop, you know, while they could kind of grow up, have their own shit going
and
on.
Reiner is good. I like Reiner.
Yeah, I mean, I think I generally like everyone. Mikasa is definitely taking the longest to warm up to me.
Well, I mean, I don't hate anybody, but
yeah,
I vibe the most with the others.
Yeah. Azan in the comments mentioned he forgot Eren made a promise of forever with the scarf to Mikasa in season 2.
That is true.
She lost her family twice. So that is all true, and I'm never like shitting on Mikasa's motives by any means. I think it just is not as interesting in the long run compared to other people.
But that is interesting though, that Eren did make that. I'll put the scarf on you forever and ever. And then after that, he has consumed like 2 other Titans, been taken over by their memories, and he's just a completely different person now.
That is an interesting question of, does consuming memories like that completely change the person, or are they in control of the person?
I would say that it
Eren
does,
brings
because,
that up to Armin.
He says that about Armin, and that's why Armin keeps visiting Annie. It's not Armin was always in love with Annie, it's Berthold.
That's an interesting concept, which makes us think, is Eren acting under Eren's guidelines, or is he acting under the memories of everyone else? Like, how much of Eren
eaten,
now?
I guess.
Yeah, he's eaten a bunch of people. Like, how many of those people are influencing
one of
his
those
current
people
memories?
he ate was his dad.
Including his dad. How much of this is his dad?
So he has his dad's memories, and we see that his dad was kind of not a cool guy.
Yeah.
What, am I stupid, or have they revealed before that Zeke and Eren are brothers?
In the story, yeah, I think everyone knows they're brothers.
Yeah, I feel like I knew that, but they treated it in this as if it was like, oh wow, they had the same dad.
Well, I think that was in the I think that was in the flashback in the next episode. That was in the next episode where they didn't fully realize yet. Yeah,
he was like, they showed Zeke learning that his dad survived being sent to paradise.
Yes, yeah. So we can go jump into that one for the next episode, because that is a good Levi wrecking Zeke is a good transition to Levi
learning
having
some more about Zeke.
Yeah, it's a Zeke flashback episode, which was really cool. I think I forget exactly when it happened in the manga, so I was like, oh yeah, Zeke flashback time. And I like that, first off, Levi has him hostage in like the
so
most
brutal, and it's wonderful. I love it. It's so Levi.
It's so brutal and wonderful. And
there's it's fucked up, but there's something so cathartic about Levi just like chopping him up just to like fuck with him.
Well, it would feel harsh if this was like possibly any other character, but this is the same guy.
Zeke is an asshole.
He's
killed
small
Erwin.
village.
He's killed so many people.
And not just like, he didn't just kill them. Like, he titanized a small village. Remember that dude, who was his name, Mike or whatever? Remember that guy Mike who was like second in command, and it was like the Beast Titan's first appearance, and then he had all those Titans rip him apart? that was like the second most brutal part of the series, in my opinion. And then he also destroyed all of the scouts with baseball practice. So he's not just like a dude who took out a couple people. Like, this is probably like the most savage killer in the series, who is now repeatedly getting his legs cut off so he doesn't titanize, and he has an explosive in his stomach, and if he moves his head too much, it explodes. Yeah. So, you know, I think it's fitting.
I mean, it's a weird thing because, like, in media, we have been taught since forever to cheer for the freedom fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like anyone who's rebelling against the government or like the system, they're usually the good guys in movies.
Yeah, fuck the system.
But in this case, it's Matrix. People who just want to, well...
They just want a quiet life.
They just want a quiet life. No, they want to... I mean, what do they... Oh yeah, we figured out what they do want. They want to euthanize the entire alien race.
Yeah, so that was like an interesting motive to reveal. Because up until now, I think we thought Zeke was a Jaegerist and that he wants the freedom of the Eldian people. Because that's what he said. But that's now we learn that he just does not want to be born into this world.
I think that's all. I think all the Jaegerists think that the Jaegers want the freedom of the Eldians and to hit back.
And in a way, it is a weird kind of freedom. It just means no one gets born, so they're free of being born into this world.
But I feel like Flosh, whatever, all those people want to like kick Marley in the teeth. That's what they want.
Yeah, they want. Yeah, they don't want. They want everyone else to be destroyed so they can keep living life.
I doubt they know that
they don't know.
Jaeger brothers are planning to sterilize the entire race.
Eldian people.
But in a sense, it's smart. It's like waving a magic wand and dismantling every nuclear warhead in the world.
Yeah.
They are the living version of weapons of mass destruction. They are incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, it's interesting, though, because, I mean, it is interesting when you think about it, like, conceptually, I think theirs is kind of like the compromise. Theirs is the compromise of, like, hey, we're not going to kill you guys now, but you won't be able to have kids. And then the world will be free, we won't be oppressed, you know, it solves both problems conceptually.
Yes.
But when you think about it,
it's also a little fucked up.
It's also really fucked up. And so kind of a yucky, but also when you think about it in their current society, who's forcing people to be Titans other than the Marlians? Like, they're using it as a weapon. If the people on Paradis were just left to their own devices, most of them wouldn't have been Titans. They wouldn't have tried to become Titans, and they wouldn't even know that Titans are warfare.
In order for someone to become a Titan, they have to be primed with an injection.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's like a manufactured weapon.
That is true.
Because you had a good analogy with that. So it's interesting how, you know, the people who used to use Titan warfare, which were the Eldians, are no longer doing that. Mm-hmm. So it is kind of like, I think it's putting a Band-Aid over a gunshot. And the gunshot being, the gunshot wound being everyone wants war.
It does,
so if they can't use Titans as war.
Similar plot. Have you ever played the Mass Effect games?
No, I think I played part of one.
Do you know anything about, like, there's this race called the Krogans? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah.
Like, this massive race of, like, warrior, turtle, rhino men, whatever. Super tough, hard to kill, lives forever, very violent. And they got, like, uplifted to be used for war. Then the war ended, and now there's just too many of them. They're too strong, whatever. So they made this artificial, called it genophage, where, like, 1 in 1,000 kids will be born, so just everything else is prematurely aborted. Just to it's like extreme. Manage the numbers, and it's incredibly like
the idea of like commodifying like, who gets born, controlling
it's brutal. It's like this huge moral conundrum, because it's like, on the other hand, if you didn't do that, they would just overrun the galaxy in a matter of years.
Yeah. That seems a bit more a bit more ethically like black or gray, because that seems a bit more complex in an interesting way, because it does seem like, you know, it seems tough.
It's not like they could just say no one gets born, but it's somehow more cruel that it's like, okay, 1 in 1,000. It's like you're under our thumb and you know it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess it does make it interesting is like, is Zeke's thing more humane or not? But I think thinking of that, it's an interesting alternative perspective to what's going on. But I think the source of it is I suffer because I'm born into this world. And as we know, the theme of this series is I have value because I was born into this world. So Zeke is just the absolute antithesis, and he's like sad boy 2000, like absolutely damn, why was I born? Hate it. I mean,
it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and I think his backstory does a good job of, you know, contextualizing how he came to think like that. You know.
Yeah, he was born an Eldian, and because of the Eldian condition, his childhood was hellish. He had a lot of pressure put on him. Had to see a lot of people come and go. The guy he ended up having like father figure, Mr. Casaver.
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 Yeah, that was a funny name.
Saber.
Like Saber.
Playing baseball with him, like new father figure. Oh, guess what? His entire family killed themselves when they found out they had Eldian blood.
Yeah, I think the mom did it.
The mom killed the kid and then herself.
Yeah,
just because their they found out he was an Eldian.
You know, that's like, I mean, not understandable, but I mean, like, okay, but like, why did she kill herself too?
I guess she doesn't want she doesn't want to live with the shame. She killed her kid. She doesn't want to risk becoming a Titan.
She's like, oh no, I got the Titan cooties near me. I can't do that now.
She's probably like, if someone finds out, we're just gonna be shipped off to paradise, or we're gonna be used as like nukes in an airstrike.
She wouldn't have gotten killed though, because she's like a Marleyan. She doesn't have Titan blood.
Oh yeah, that's true.
She just would have been like.
She would probably have been executed for like sheltering an Eldian. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
This is like Nazi Germany setting.
Yeah, she probably would have gotten screwed up.
Something bad would have happened.
Yeah, I do think it was cool to see. I think everything was cool how it like lined up. Where like it started off with. What was I thinking? They're on that tower and they're like, oh, look, city is cool, but like we're limited. And that dude's like, why do you guys keep having kids? And how that kind of comes back to Zeke of like, why do we keep continuing to live if it just leads to further fear, destruction, and like shitty living? You know, it's interesting how that like set him off on that ideal.
I forgot that Zeke and Aaron were technically brothers, and that I kind of knew that. So in my stupid ass notes, I had one saying, Zeke dad looking a lot like Aaron. Zeke's dad looks a lot like Aaron.
Wait, I said that in that one scene where he looks like disgusted with Zeke for being like such a
man, his sure looks like Aaron right there. And then the mom looks a lot like Historia. Coincidence? I don't know.
I think not.
I think not. Probably not. Knowing this show, probably not.
Yeah, probably. It was just Historia from the past. But
it's this fucking paths thing that people are talking about all the time.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's all
just
a
paths,
time.
You know.
Time is a flat circle, and then they travel all around it with memories.
You know,
the use.
Chat is reinforcing the idea that she killed herself because she was dirtied by an Eldian, similar to Raynor's father's reaction, and because of the guilt of killing her kids.
Yeah.
So
I mean, both makes sense.
That she's done so. Yeah.
I mean, it's still a bit drastic, but you know, it makes a kind of sense.
It makes kind of sense. But something. What was I thinking? I kind of love how, you know, in Aaron and Zeke's dad Gracia's memories, in like if he's doing the summary of his life, he's like, yeah. So then Zeke turned our asses in, and that's kind of like that's like a bullet point on his life. Zeke's whole thing is like, my dad was the worst piece of shit ever.
My dad
he hated
was real
me because
bad.
I sucked ass. He never loved me. He was gonna get all of our family shipped off to paradise. Like it's like the center of his complex. But then on Grisha's list, it's like, yeah, Zeke, my rat son turned us in. Sucks. I guess I was a shitty dad, but like whatever. More on the list to go.
It's probably his fault.
Yeah.
My shitty Eldian son turned me in. God, I hate Eldians.
Maybe we should not protect these guys. Yeah, right. But it makes so much sense because, like, you know how it's like parents say or do one thing, and then that becomes like such a complex for a child because they're so impressionable.
Yes.
Whereas, like, and to them they're like, yeah, that was just like another thing off the list, just something we did. It's like, it's not funny, but it stuck with me. It's like really funny how like, I'm in my head, I'm just like, yeah, it's just another thing on the list. Now we're on to paradise, gotta go kill some people, gotta go get the Titan. Then we got this, it's just so much to cram in, where Zeke is like, I hate my dad. He ruined my life. I hate everything. I wish I wasn't
my
born.
Dad. I hate my dad.
But
Everything
like,
comes back
oh
to
God.
daddy issues.
Wait, you can sum up Zeke's backstory as the like, are you winning, son? And it's like, Dad, I hate being born. I just want to play baseball. Why are you forcing me to be a warrior?
Why do you have to be this? Why is this? This sucks.
Yeah, it's so funny. But I mean, I don't know why I'm memeing the shit out of this, because it's such a good backstory. It's a very well done backstory, so I want to give it credit for being well done. But I do think it's just really funny how Zeke is like, my dad was awful, and now I'm miserable, and I see how miserable everyone is. And then Gretchen is just like, yeah, I was a bad dad, and my son ratted us out.
It do be like that.
It do be like that.
I'm thinking, wait, like, okay, Zeke has royal blood, right?
Wood. He has the blood, yeah.
He has royal blood. He has that from his mom, right?
Yeah.
Why was his mom just living in, like, a house and not, like, being a royal person?
Well, I think because she was from Marley, if they knew that she had royal blood, they would have,
she's Eldian royalty.
Yeah, so she would have been persecuted more, and they probably would have tortured her and forced her to have tons of kids. So she had to be incognito about her royalness.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is also why Zeke has to be undercover about it. Yeah. So he has to because it's kind of worse for them to know that, because then that just means, like, they're going to be test subjects. As Shintaro Huni says, Zeke, reject humanity, return to monkey. That's how
he always returns to monkey. Levi's always there to stop him. The so eternal funny. Monkey hater that he is.
And he's just so funny. He's like Zeke is just muttering to himself about euthanizing people. It's like, euthanize what?
Wait, what?
What? It's kind of weird to mumble.
And he pulls the fucking pin on the rocket and blows Levi up.
Could he?
What?
Absolute mad lad. Yeah. Is it like, I don't know why he did that, because, like, I mean, I guess he's confident that he won't die. But what if he does die?
Whoa,
Sorry, I should be more specific.
Zeke?
Zeke is Zeke just trying to Shanae himself? Like, is he just trying?
I think Zeke is, like, doing a last-ditch effort to, like, go out before they can use him for whatever they're planning on using him for.
Yeah. So, like, is Zeke just like, okay, well, I gotta potentially kill both of us for whatever, but then, so what if he does die, though? I mean, how does that work with his plan? Was that just him giving up, or is that just like a last-ditch effort?
I think he was just like, you know what, they clearly have a plan for me. They're keeping me alive, making sure I can't move. Whatever they have in store for me is bad. I can go out right now, make sure they don't get the Beast Titan, and kill Levi.
Yeah, it's my only shot at killing Levi.
So he called Levi's bluff and pulled the pin. I would have loved it if the rocket was a dud. It was just like a bluff too.
That would be so funny. That's so funny.
That would have been so mean.
It would have been so mean, be like, whoops.
But just because Levi is so confident that he won't do it. That's also why he's sitting right the fuck next to it. That's so stupid. He's sitting, like, 6 feet away from an armed rocket. Just because he's so sure that Zeke won't do it.
Yeah, very big miscalculation. Also, the biggest RIP in the show is the horse that got set on fire.
The burning horse.
Feels so bad.
Feels bad. Maybe it was the same one that bit Gabby. It got what it deserved.
No. We liked that it bit Gabby. She was mean to the horses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Fuck Gabby.
Yeah, fuck Gabby. Wait, where'd the Gabby gang as of 1 month ago?
How's the Gabby gang doing? Do they still love Gabby?
I don't know. Gabby's kind of down bad right now.
But do we think that this explosion has killed Levi?
I don't know. What do you think? Do you think this is it for him?
Absolutely not. He's unkillable.
Do you think it's okay? Because in my thing with Levi is throughout the series, my headcanon is Levi cannot be killed because it would be more he would suffer more by living, right. Therefore he will stay alive.
Yes. I'm sure, like, we didn't see it this time. We just saw it explode and then something went flying. I'm sure that at the beginning of the next episode, they're going to show the pin being pulled and then he pulls something out from under his seat. He was prepared in a way that we just didn't get to see this time.
The 200 IQ move.
Because he isn't stupid. Surviving. Levi is not an idiot.
No.
He would have a plan for this. He's like the Batman. He has a plan for everything.
I love that. Levi as Batman would be so funny. He really is. It's just like the neat... Yeah.
He's the fucking terror. Like, anywhere he shows up, people just, like, piss their pants. And then he cuts them in half. Like,
pretty much. I wonder... But do you think Zeke will survive this?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I give that a 50-50. Levi's probably going to get away with some burns. Maybe he's missing an arm. I don't know.
But you think they both survive this, essentially?
Well, that's funny. The weird chat thing that Moss gave us the code for, Block says one of his comments isn't showing, and he's right. I have the feed over here. For some reason, it's not showing up. Said, I don't think he won't. I don't think he won't. They'll come up with something like Reiner putting his soul on his ass. What?
You remember that when they're like, yeah, thank God he shifted his consciousness.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
I gotta say, you know, I have suspended all disbelief because after the Reiner moving his consciousness through his body, I think we can just like, if you're down with that, cool.
You know, you gotta accept I just figured it out. I figured it out. Yeah. You know what they're gonna do? When Zeke got blowed up by Levi, like ass beast Titan, he got blown to shit. When he was being dragged away, they cut to his lower jaw being on the ground twitching. I bet he's going to shift his consciousness to his lower jaw and regenerate in the forest.
This is like a weird Ditto bullshit.
Yeah, right. It's like Cell in Dragon Ball. There's like one little chunk of him left somewhere. He can just fully regenerate.
Yeah. It's just so funny. Oh my god. It's just so fun. It's just so funny. Like, I don't know. The transferring consciousness thing is like, okay.
Some real bullshit.
I accept it because paths, but, you know, like, if I'm going to accept that, I dead ass am going to accept everything. Right. Like, anything is fair game.
It's like, how could you shift your consciousness? Where does the consciousness sit? Like, where is it right now in all of us? Where, probably like, what ass. Part would you have to blow off to kill my consciousness? It's the brain, right?
Yeah, but if... You know what they say, though? Like, if Reiner's talking out of his...
Oh, it was another Titan in
the maybe his head's down there.
Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just so funny. I think there's so many, like, interesting things that I'm just like, yeah, I'm just gonna, like... I'll mail it in because, you know... Yeah. I'll mail it in with the, like...
Well, you've read all of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying, like, that one specific thing is why I can suspend all disbelief, you know? Like... Yeah, essentially. But, yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see because 2 very extreme episodes, who know? I don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I do know what's going to happen.
One was very extreme action. It was nice to see finally. The other was some good backstory for both.
Yeah.
Like, the Jaeger parents and for Zeke specifically.
Yeah, and the other monkey titan. I think that's also cool because I think I also really liked how they I really like how they showed what's his name? We keep calling him like Saber.
It was like something Saber. Like Ben John.
Ben Saber. Yeah.
It was something really like simple, generic, normal first name and then Saber.
Yeah. I like how when they showed his backstory, it was kind of like where they were standing. Like they showed the like image of his wife and his dead wife and kid and the room. It was just kind of like where they were, so it wasn't like it's not like they went back to a specific location. It just shows like him carrying it with them. So it's just like where he's standing. I thought that was pretty cool and well done. And I think they've done a good job of adapting it to show, you know, the direction has shown the emotional state of everyone really well.
That's right. Tom Saver.
Tom Saver.
I'm thinking Tom Sawyer. Isn't that like...
Tom Sawyer. Yeah, that's
from a book, right?
Yeah, that's from a very
hey,
very
Tay's here.
famous American,
Saber Best Girl.
American novel.
That's right.
Oh,
Saber
hey,
Best Girl.
Tay can join us. Did we tell him to enter the chat?
Tay, would you like to join? You can just do that. You have the power.
Yeah, he can do it. He has the technology. Yeah. Because we did talk about a lot, so we could get a brief rundown of his takes.
Otherwise, we'll just have to talk for 2 hours about the Neverland Season 2.
Oh my! We will be doing... Are we still down to hold a funeral for that? That would be so funny.
That would be really funny. Like, we need to get the crew, the Neverland crew together. Smurf and Jack and you.
Get the band back together to hold a funeral. Hi, Tay.
Hey!
How's it going?
Hey, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Wonder Egg Priority. Everybody's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Tom Kisnaver.
Tom Kisnaver.
Tom Kisnaver. That's right. That's his name.
That's his name. Guys, thanks so much for letting me be on the show. You know, long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time caller.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure. You know, it's what an episode though. What an episode, especially
technically 2 episodes.
Technically 2 episodes.
What a 2 episodes.
What are 2 episodes actually?
Yeah.
As you can tell, I'm not used to doing this podcast thing. You know, a little nervous being on.
Oh no!
First time on this huge Attack on Weekly show. Was surrounded by my friends, just like Levi was, you know, and you know how well that went for him.
He had some one-on-one time with all his friends.
Was it one-on-one? Or was
it was many on him.
Many on one. Yeah, it's
30 on 1. Technically 31.
Yeah, that was. Man, that was crazy.
That's true. I don't know, something.
But nice panic. I like the title change. So, I guess. Sorry, I just freed up and managed to watch the episodes. But what were your guys' thoughts on, specifically with regards to Aaron's discussion with Armin? And Kasa.
I
he did not need to go that hard.
said, you know what we said? We found this really funny meme. And I think that just kind of sums it up. It's like, I have to find it. When you know Mikasa is stronger than you and Armin is smarter than you argue with Mikasa and fight with Armin.
It was perfect. He just bodied both of them in their respectable weaknesses.
Destroyed.
So great.
Logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think, Tay? Because you've been a Mikasa fan for a while, and she got absolutely demolished
by Facts and Logic today.
True.
Yeah. Factual.
She got fucking Ben Shapiro'd.
The fact that she is a slave to her bloodline and whatever that means, to being an Ackerman.
Mm-hmm. What I've really enjoyed about these last 2 episodes is it shows this different side of Eren, right? Because, and we've kind of seen it from his first talk with Zeke, when Zeke was like, when Eren was like, "Oh, did I say that? Did I say I was gonna kill all of you?"
Oh, with Reiner.
Yeah, with Reiner. Sorry, with Reiner. Yeah. And he was like, forget I said that. Like, whatever, no big
deal.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know what? You have an opinion until you get a new one.
I know, and it's been like a long time since then, right? It's been like years, and so like you grow older, and you like, I know I look back at my like high school stuff, and I'm like, bro, I did not mean those things.
You grow older, you eat some people, you absorb some memories,
You learn about the world.
You go on like a no carbs diet for a little while.
Yeah.
Go keto for a year.
yeah, just red meat, just only red.
In the carnivore diet. He went on Joe Rogan, started hunting with bow and arrow.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
And then we saw it a little bit here again with Eren and his conversation with Zeke, right? He's like, there's that one moment early on where he's like, it's like because I was like the idea like because I was born in this world, and his mom talking to the instructor who got his face punched in. By the way, what a great transition! He's like, I can take on all of you, and then he's like,
cut to shit.
And how like okay, they were obviously showing that it took a lot of effort for these guys to knock him out, but in our real time, that was like 3 seconds later, and he's down and out.
It's like that one panel from Way of the House Husband, where it's that one guy leaning up against the wall, and he's like, "Hold on a second," and he Googles how many people can one guy beat up. How many people can one guy fight at once?
Yeah.
And when Aaron's mom is talking with him, and he's like, Aaron was already always special because he was born into this world, but for the first time. Being born into this world has like such a positive connotation. But today, from Zeke, from Tom, his neighbor, and from Aaron, we get this idea that like being born into this world, like
it's
sure in this ideal, right? And like it's a very like founding fathers American ideal that like people are born with inalienable rights, but that's not always the case in this world.
Because in this world, it also means you're born with the
the
innate ability to be injected with something and become a living bomb.
Right. Yeah. And and they discuss this idea that like maybe it would be better for people not to be born into this world.
Yeah, for the sake of everyone.
Exactly, not just other people, but for themselves, not having to suffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really recontextualizes a lot of their conversations that they've had earlier. That like Aaron is so much about like freedom and being free and what it means to be free. And especially when he talks with Mikasa, he's like, oh, like you're a slave and I've always hated you. Like I've always hated you my entire life. And the truth of that and whatever, that remains to be discerned. But it is true he's hated slaves all their life, and what is destiny if not what you are a slave to? By the way, people, you should watch Mawaru Penguin Drum.
Watch the Penguin Drum.
Watch the Penguin Drum if you like people and destiny.
You like fake slavery and
penguins.
Penguins, yeah.
Penguins and people eating people. What are those as a lie? We're not going to tell you which one is the lie.
I don't even remember, so that works for me.
I mean, we don't know if people get eaten after the child broiler.
We don't know.
I mean, why would you broil something and not eat it?
What?
Like broiled salmon.
Yeah. So watch Penguin Drum.
Penguin Drum.
Yeah, I think that we were talking about that a bit, and I was kind of saying how I think it's interesting that they talk about the idea that it sucks to be like for some people it does suck to be born into this world, and how there's this inherent suffering that comes along with being an Eldian because they are either discriminated against or they can be turned into Titans. But in their current society, the people who are turning them into Titans are utilizing that against them, and those are the Marleyans. Whereas like all of the Paradise people, they wouldn't know that they're Titans, nor would they use Titan warfare if without the knowledge of that, nor the attack of other countries. They're just chilling. Being like normal humans, and they don't know that that's like a potential a potential weapon or a potential way for their people to suffer, which is interesting because I think the idea that Zeke has of euthanizing people is kind of like pulling a band-aid over a bullet wound. It won't stop, it will not stop the people from going to war or oppressing each other. It just solves the immediate idea of oppression, which is in his mind, that's how to solve their problems. But I don't think it would be a good long-term solution based on the world that they have established and everyone's motives.
There's an old religious, I'm not sure if it's like a story or if it's like a real thing that happened and it's just been passed down many times. But there's the story of, like old-time missionaries from like Europe when they would like go to these other countries and like try to spread Christianity to other people. And they would like reach these quote unquote unreached people and tell them the gospel. There's this story about like them like a missionary coming across like a tribe that was like in a forest or in a jungle, like way out, and like had never met like any other people. And this missionary comes in, and he like tells them about Christianity and their belief system. And then one of the elders is like, "Wait, so let me get this straight. If you had never met us, what would have happened?" And there he was, and like, if when we died, what would have happened? Because you told us, like, if we believe in what you're saying, then when we die, we go to heaven. And they're like, so what would have happened to us if you had just never met us and we had never known about this? And the missionary's like, well, you would have just lived like you normally would have, and you would have gone to purgatory. You wouldn't have gone to hell because you had never heard of the gospel. And then the one elder's like, so then you have ruined us all by telling us this.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
The idea, right, that they would never have gone to hell until he told them, and now they're like, well, fuck, now we know about hell, and we know about all this, and now we have to believe you, or like according to your belief system, and get absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
It's a lot how we think about the people of Paradise, right? But because now that they know about the outside world, it's like you can't close that box, right? You can't
close Pandora's box. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't undo that Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or could they?
Oh, Pats.
Because they didn't. They used the king power, founding Titan power, to make everybody forget.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true, and that's
They
probably
could just close the box again.
and that's probably plays into his decision.
And the world now knows the power. The worry. They're worried about the Titans, right?
Well, they always were, though.
Right, but now they're like extraordinarily worried because like they have all these like extra anti-Titan weapons. So
because now Paradise has like 4 of the 9 Titans or however many.
Yeah, the special Titans. So
yeah,
I also really liked we talk about what they know, what they don't know. I really liked, Attack on Titan can be really subtle sometimes, and I felt like they were
it's
so
a thinking man's anime.
It's such a thinking man's anime, and they were so subtle when they showed like the differences in the way stories were told via propaganda and not propaganda. Like, wow, you're telling me like fascist regimes might make up propaganda stories that will completely change.
Telling me that different groups of people rewrite history to benefit them.
What do you guys think of the idea? I mean, I'm not sure if this was super presented or not, but what do you think of the idea that Grisha is also presenting equally propaganda ideals to Zeke?
But that's what I'm thinking, because okay, so Zeke is taught that Eldia did all these horrible things, and then his dad is like, "Nah, actually, we didn't." But so who's right? Who's got the truth?
Because they're told Marley is telling them like Eldia did all of the bad things, and then his dad is like Eldia did none of the bad things. So realistically speaking, Eldia probably did some bad things, and then Marley probably also did some bad things.
I'm guessing Eldia isn't like completely clean.
Yeah.
But whatever they did has been blown way out of proportion.
Going like, I don't know, how old is this Eldian Empire supposed to be or whatever? Like,
it's like 2000?
I'm thinking like 2,000 years from now, like Holocaust deniers and stuff like that, pointing back and saying, it didn't happen. And someone says, oh, it did happen, but all traces are gone. There's no proof left.
It's like, I don't know if they wanted to explain it like to you 2,000 years ago. They'd have to like the only way you can do it is by like going back or whatever, right? And like I don't know if they have time machines here. We already have like people eating people. But unless they like explicitly come out and like tell it to you.
Time is a flat triangle.
No, it is a triangle. I do find it interesting, the way how everything's been presented. I also don't know who's playing baseball.
I was wondering, are there baseball leagues? Are there baseball leagues?
Because at one point he's like, oh, you could have been a pro baseball player. I'm like, excuse me, who is playing baseball?
Well, they all mean every country. You have to have a sport, right?
I mean, even the U.S. during World War II, there was the suspension of baseball leagues, which is why we were able to get that fantastic film, A League of Their Own.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they're really, because like in my head, they're like the modern world outside of Paradise is like 1920s period, like World War One, World War Two period, sometime around then.
Yeah.
And then Paradise is back in like 1800s, kind of, you know,
It's like
kind
a
of like
steampunk 1800s because they got the 3D MG.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
part of what I don't get at all. Like, they're shocked to see a self-loading pistol, but they invented 3D maneuvering gear. Fuck
I
off.
guess it's 'cause, like, well, yeah, but they had this super special like the glass or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't that came
Appar-
later, right? Like they
No, I
invented.
think no, they've been using that to power their 3D MG.
No, but I still
Yeah.
mean it's like you have fucking grappling hooks attached to swords that are impossibly sharp, and you're like zooming all around, and you can't invent a pistol that reloads itself.
Yeah.
They've
Or
also
a
never
train.
needed to do that. Well, they've never
And then
needed
also
that.
Cars and stuff. I think they were like really surprised about cars.
Yeah, well, they never needed those the same way the rest of the world did.
Planes,
'Cause
trains,
they're
and
still trying to
automobiles.
they're trying to find like anti-Titan weapons, while the rest of the world is like, okay, we got to
Fighting
shoot
each
the
other,
people a lot.
Mm-hmm. Which is
Yeah,
why the
so different
military
priorities.
had guns.
Hmm?
The military police inside the wall had guns, remember? But
It was like
you know,
single bullet
shotguns.
rifles or whatever.
Yeah,
rifles.
yeah.
Muskets.
Yeah, which
Right.
makes sense because it's like they were tracking down people, and then it just shows that I think everyone's priorities determine what their most extreme technological advances will be.
Yeah.
Right.
Dr. Sins in chat has a great point. I want a Zeke baseball spin-off. They have the
I do. Yeah.
they have the school spin-off. We need a sports anime.
Yeah, I would watch it, you know? But
I mean,
I also really liked it because it explains why Zeke was so good at like throwing rocks and shit, and why that
Yeah.
was his like, modus operandi. Like, it's a really cool bit of like explanation and backstory to like how he was able to mass slaughter people by like throwing rocks so well, and why he had like such a refined technique in throwing balls.
Yeah, it's like, damn, that's like his thing. That's his thing to to use as a weapon, which is funny. But it's always cool when they show like the small things that impact their fighting style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that was interesting. What did you think? Because I know that you've read the manga, and this is but I think some time has gone by, so this is kind of like a refresher. I don't want to presume about your memory, because I
My
don't want to be
memory
like,
is terrible, Shaw. You remember my opinions, and my memory is better than I do.
I do. I do, but that's like that's just how much I value your opinions, to be like, no, Tay, you said this,
And I'm like,
explain
I
yourself.
think my opinions matter shit, so I forget all of them immediately.
But that's how I am with my opinions, where I'll forget my opinions because as soon as I say something, I forget. So then it's like, say it once and it's gone forever. So as long as we all remember each other's opinions, we can
keep moving
use that
forward.
against each other when it's convenient.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what did you think of, Zeke Backstory, and then like how they adapted it and like how they handled it?
Mm-hmm. You guys mentioned it, but I really love the shot of him like explaining about Tom Saver's wife and kid, and explaining it right in front of him.
Yeah.
Love
that.
And like the blood there, and like the sound design was great too, like picking the baseball up from the blood, and like I half expected like the baseball covered in blood, but of course like he's just like walking down memory lane, and it was so well done. I thought the Zeke stuff with his parents was also really well done. The acting and the voice acting and the presentation of it, I think, really elevates it. Like I'm not gonna lie, I read the Attack on Titan manga, but I think the anime brings a lot to the presentation and to the emotional weight, especially of like important scenes like this.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when not so much in like the quiet scenes, but in like the very loud and like screaming and like I dropped my pen kind of scene.
Yeah.
So I thought, and Zeke's backstory is a lot of that, and I thought they did a really good job with that, showing the horror of Aaron's father, or their father's face, and his mom's face, and I really liked how they presented that, like, the idea of Attack on Titan, the story of Attack on Titan is, especially in this season, is that there's always two sides to every story.
Yeah.
And so, all we know about Aaron's father is that like he had a basement and he like tried to be a good dad, but like whatever, and like he left him a couple of notes in a basement.
He was probably a good guy, right?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, and then here we find out like no, he was a really shitty
He was
father.
a
Like
piece
holy
of shit.
I don't know if you got to hear for this part, but I thought it was kind of funny. It's like both funny but telling how like in Gracia's backstory, him being a bad dad to Zeke is kind of like a bullet point on many, like a laundry list of things that happen. But
Right.
that bullet point from Zeke's point of view is just like his entire terrible childhood. Like his
Right.
dad was terrible. He never felt loved by his actual parents. He was always forced into like various roles of society that he never felt compelled to be in. And the only time he really felt truly loved and appreciated was when he was playing catch with Saber. So like it's so interesting just how, you know, for parents it's like, oh yeah, so kind of fucked up and then my kid turned me in, where Zeke is like, my dad is going to get all of our family shipped off to paradise. He hates me, I hate him, fuck this dude.
Yeah, and in many respects, Zeke was like, "This is the only way I can like, kind of continue his dream and finally end the suffering.
Yeah.
End the suffering by like killing everyone off, basically. And like, well, I guess I don't know, like you could change everyone's anatomy to like maybe kill them off, but like if you barring that, you could just make sure nobody can ever have kids again.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or
it's definitely...
or like just kill them off. You know, the euthanization, whatever.
Yeah, so it's like a painless death for their species, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
that's
know,
what he
they'll
thinks.
Go out with a little fizzle.
They'll still exist for 100 years, but they won't have kids. I don't know if it's a sterilization or a euthanization.
Yeah.
I think it's more like sterilization. They call it euthanasia, which means like they all die immediately, but that's not
Right.
That's
I'd say it
not
would be
what they're
sterilization
saying.
for the people, euthanize for the race.
Yeah, they're
Kind of
killing the
small-
race off.
Small difference. Yeah,
Yeah.
small difference. That kind of means the same thing. But
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, sterilize the people, euthanize the people overall, the Eldian Empire.
Mhm.
And I always thought that was like a very interesting solution to the problem. Just in general, you know, everyone's like, we must kill these guys, we must kill these guys. And Zeke is like, we will slowly kill these people and then they're all good, everyone's good. It's a very interesting solution that I think in his mind is solution. I'm not calling it a solution. It's a very interesting way of
final
addressing the
solution. Kind
I was
of
saying
deal,
it's
you
the
know?
final solution. It has a sense of
Okay, you-
finality to it.
God,
That's
so
that
terrible.
sounds very definitive.
How's gonna cancel us? I forget.
It
what
is
it
kind.
was.
It would be kind of like if in World War II, it's like the Jews
Oh my
holocausting
God.
themselves. It's like why? It's suffering being us. Let's all die.
Yeah.
That's
well,
fucked.
it is like that's one of the main reasons that like I don't think the comparison between Eldians and real life Jews really
No.
holds up is because
No.
like
No.
in this like very fictional
'Cause it is
setting, as Aaron and
supernatural.
other people bring up, like there is some grounds for this fictional race to be hated and feared. Like they do have grounds for that, which does not exist for any real life race of people.
No real life race of people like turns into 12-foot tall monsters and eat each other.
No.
Yeah.
Like that's not a thing we have to worry.
How do you
about.
know?
And if
Have you tried?
Yeah.
Have you
Just
looked?
try
Tanner,
harder.
what if we'll find out?
What do you think Bigfoot is?
Oh,
The Loch Ness monster, which is just a failed titan.
Failed titan.
it's the
Really
Beast
lives in the
Titan.
water.
Yeah, it is a beast titan. Yeah.
It's
King Kong.
Oh my God! It's all coming
versus
together.
all of them are just Beast Titans. Godzilla, also a Beast Titan.
Also somehow.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's the same reason. Like, it's very hard to like ascribe any race theory on like Beastars because you know, like, we don't
Yeah.
have people who are like, man, the only thing I can do, like my
Yeah.
like instinct.
I have to
is
kill other people to live.
you know, these are allegories / things that are like vaguely influenced by. But if you
Yeah.
try to dig any deeper than like very surface level stuff, the reading gets very murky.
Yeah, agreed. And that's
Right.
why it is kind of like it's so interesting because it is like it presents the idea of like these people hurt us and we have some justification for them still being an issue, but like that makes it more complicated in terms of the story, but like in real life if you tried to do it, there's no real like comparison,
Right.
which is good.
I will also say, did Levi never drink the wine, or
No, I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
Okay. I wonder. Yeah. Okay. That's. I wonder what would. Like Levi Titan. That'd be cool though. Like a Levi Titan. I wonder if that would,
maybe Levi is just a Titan.
Bro, what if the real Titans were the friends?
He's like the Ultra Instinct version of a Titan, where he's like Frieza. He gets smaller and smaller.
When all of Levi's people get turned into Titans, like all of his comrades, that really is.
I know.
The friends we made, the Titans were the friends we made along the way. That's like actually it, though. Oh my god, the meme works.
The plot of Attack on Titan.
It's like actually just Attack on Titan.
It must have been killing Zeke too, seeing everybody drink the wine except Levi.
It's like drink it.
Come on.
Just drink once. That's so funny.
I drained my spinal fluid for this.
Bro, like that must have been so painful. Like
that's gotta suck.
Also, how did like, people not realize that he was like probably of royal blood? The fact he was able to do this when no other Beast Titan was able to do this.
Well, he told the lie that when people ingest my spinal fluid or something, they freeze up. So he told them like a really key lie.
Marlian people.
Oh yeah, they're dumb. Like Marlians are so stupid at war. Like, have you noticed they are so dumb? And I'm like, how do you keep
one
stucking?
strategy is like sneak people in who are Titans and then turn them into Titans. So like you don't have a renewable fighting source, right? Because you just keep killing people, and then like you just use like raw power and hope they survive.
I'm just saying, if we're looking at it from like a 3D chess point of view, like his tactical one, Marlians 100% deserve to lose at war because they've continuously been stupid. So they have
been relying very heavily on having Titans to fight for them. Now that they have to think for them, they have to actually have tactics. Fuck.
What do we do against the Titans? I don't know.
I forget how to fight them. God damn it.
How do you attack on Titan?
Well, you just have to attack on the Titan. Have you not seen this show?
What do you mean? Oh, we're like 4 seasons in.
It's so funny.
Whatever
God,
happened to Peak?
She's still chilling.
Like we saw her on a bench 5 years ago.
Yeah.
He's just been sitting there.
We're still waiting. I don't know.
Waiting for that peak fiction.
Hey! Zenith of the medium.
Zenith of the medium.
Oh man, 10 out of 10. So we'll see. I'm most interested to see what happens to all the other people who like drink the wine. Like they show them like freezing up and like shuddering a little bit. Like will they also turn into Titans?
Is that I feel like that means that if Zeke survives, he could just like activate them later.
Oh man, crazy.
If he survives, do you think he'll survive? I mean, you've read it. Why do you even asking?
I mean, look, in order to, because Levi set it up specifically so he wouldn't die, right? Because like he needed Zeke to live. He was just like
he had a fucking rocket in his guts.
Yeah, but like it needs to like kill his neck. Remember, like it needs to like.
No, that's when they're Titans.
No,
but their heads too.
Remember with
but it's an explosive in your stomach. Of course, that's gonna blow up your head.
You won't die from that.
No. When was the last time someone died from having a rocket explode point blank in their stomach?
Literally never.
But Zeke is also built different.
Yeah. Sucks to your grandma, but Zeke's built different for real.
Zeke is rebuilt different. He's been torn apart a couple times.
Tate, who are you rooting for in the Zeke versus Levi showdown?
I'm rooting for the horse.
I feel bad for the horse. That's what
you can't root for the horse because it died.
Yeah.
You don't know that. Look, spoilers for our Colossus attacking Colossus through, but Bacon survived. That's why I think Bacon too.
Throw back to Bacon being our horse in Shadow of the Colossus. Good times.
Yes, Bacon 2. I believe in Bacon 2 to survive this as well.
I forgot. Yep. I forgot that Taze also read it.
Yeah, but that's why we're more interested in your responses.
I forgot if I've read it.
I mean, I don't think any of them will die, but I think they should die.
Who do you think should die? Who are your top 3 should die?
Should
characters?
die? Oh, that's tough.
Gabby. Wow.
Gabby. Gabby. Falco. Just put him out of his misery. I don't know. Reiner?
Because Reiner wants to die.
Reiner wants to die. And Falco should want to die. And Gabby is a fucking asshole and should die.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, but generally, you never know. I mean, you never really know who can, will, or should die.
No.
Yeah, it's like Game of Thrones all over again.
Yeah.
It's Game of Thrones. It's like, did you see it? Do you see them die? Then they probably aren't dead.
Yeah, you need the body. Or did the actor or actress say that they're never coming back? Then they are dead.
Yeah. Good thing we don't have to worry about that with the show, where we don't have to worry about who's been signed on for the next season.
Right.
I definitely appreciate that.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so I guess we kind of covered the past 2 episodes. Panic, what do you think is happening next?
I have no fucking idea.
Put the team on your back.
What is Aaron even doing? Where did he end up?
He's still looking out the window being an e-boy.
So is he still like hanging out in the room where he beat up Armin? And
Yeah, because they don't know where to meet Zeke.
Right.
I think.
Oh, right,
Zeke...
yeah. So Zeke is being taken to a meeting point for Flock.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, he isn't, because now Levi has him. But that was the plan, was to meet up with him.
Yeah,
So,
I think...
So Flock is gonna meet up with Aaron, probably, wherever they were supposed to meet with Zeke. They're gonna realize something went fuggy wonky. They're probably gonna do something drastic. And then at some point, I bet Armin and Aaron are gonna fight as Titans.
Huh.
They should.
That makes sense.
That would be cool. I mean, he is a fucking Titan. When are you gonna wake Annie up? I mean, it's impossible to predict. Like, 3 episodes ago, I would have predicted that something with Peak was gonna happen, but she hasn't done shit for 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean...
They jump all around.
No one knows. No one knows.
I bet next episode we won't even find out if Levi or Zeke died. They're not even gonna address it. They're gonna do something completely different for an episode. How many are left?
Hope so. We have...
Is next one the final one?
Is next one the final one?
This was 14 and 15. There's gonna be 16, right?
Wait, guys, next week is the
Hold
final
up, next week is the fucking finale.
Wait, crazy! There's so much left to go through.
Okay, but we do believe that there possibly is either a movie or TV spin-off. I mean
there's no way they can end it in 1 episode.
They're not gonna pull that on us, are they?
Anime original. They're just gonna shoot Aaron.
I think because they said, I think there's an Attack on Titan announcement coming up. Right. I think that's why we have reason to believe that there is more.
There's reason to believe there's more. At least we hope there's more. It would be insane not to.
It'd be pretty wild not to get
Bleach
more.
did this, but Bleach also, I don't know, Bleach wasn't this level of...
Although I would love it. Like, my prediction comes true that they just make, like, an anime original. Just sink the ship final episode.
They got Jun Maeda to be in charge of the last part of Attack on Titan, and he just does a Jun Maeda baseball
episode. Hey, everybody, let's solve our differences with baseball.
Okay, this is also, first off, Panic, how could you say that in the same season as Promised Neverland? Do you have no respect for those who desecrated in front of our eyes by anime original content? How could you?
And I always think it's so funny when you have the golden goose and then some studio thinks, hey, you know what? We can make it better. Let's fuck it up.
Oh my god. I need, like, investigative research into what happened with this season of Promised Neverland.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna need to deep dive on it.
We'll have to do that for another podcast.
Yeah, what's probably going to happen is they're going to come out and be like, Aniplex was a real shitter, and they said we'd only get 1 more season, and we wanted to adapt it completely.
Yeah.
That does sound
But at what
something.
cost?
But at what cost? Everything. What did it cost?
What did it cost? Everything.
Everything. There was an important piece of dialogue that happened this episode that was not adapted. I'm not sure if you guys want me to share it. It's not spoiling anything.
Sure.
It's just not. They're not going to share
Yeah.
it. Okay. So during one of the scenes where Gracia was yelling at Kid Zeke, Zeke says to his dad, "Grandpa said that if you hadn't gone outside the walls,
Aunt Faye would still be alive."
yeah, that like Aunt Faye would still be alive." And then Grisha was like, "What did I do wrong? I just wanted to see the airship." So that would have been a very intense piece of dialogue. I mean, it was pretty much implied, but I mean,
Yeah,
it would have been
the thing between him, like him being like, "Isn't that why Aunt Faye died?" And then like,
yeah.
Oh, that were them. I forgot about that.
That
already.
stupid fucking airship. If the dude had just not gone out to try and see the airship with his little sister.
Yeah. If only
Then
he
Attack on
just-
Titan would have never happened.
Yeah.
People want Promise Never Weekly. Unfortunately, we kind of leaked what were our scheduling plans in the title, and that is coming never weekly.
But
No,
We
we,
might
have
have
been
a
talking
follow-up.
about arranging
We
a
might have a
funeral
follow-up.
pyre.
we will arrange a funeral pyre. We'll have a choir singing. We will give our condolences to the deceased.
Send it out to sea on a burning boat.
Yeah,
Send
we're
it out
gonna.
Eek on a bird.
So we're gonna talk about the Promised Neverland in the future. I'm not sure. Are all the episodes out, or do we have one more?
I think there might be one more.
There's one more.
Spoiler alert,
We
I stopped keeping up with it.
Yeah, we don't want to know.
I kind of
don't
just
really
stopped
wanna
watching.
Wait,
Um,
can we just say Aaron? No, his dad wanted to see that airship so bad, but Aaron and Zeke were the ones who got to ride the airship.
Those lucky
he
sons of
walked
bitches.
So they. He
But you know
walked
what?
so they could
Through
He got his sister fed to the dogs so they could ride an airship.
Aaron ate his dad so he could ride an airship.
That would be so fun.
But you know what? Through paths, the dad is still enjoying it.
Vacation.
Somewhere
love
in the
paths.
past, Aaron's dad is like, "Oh man, that was so fun!
Yeah, but yeah, we got
Hell
to fly.
yeah, I'm on an airship.
Hell yeah, fam.
I'm on a boat, motherfucker."
Oh, you, like LDNs who never got to fly before. Look at me flying on a fucking airship. Like, how's that to you? 2000 like.
How do you like them
Yeah,
apples?
Yeah,
I love
2000
I know-
years gone bad.
Panic. This reference is also very relevant because I think they call didn't the Paradise people call the airships flying boats at first? So it really
Maybe.
is. I'm on a
Yeah,
boat,
flying
motherfucker.
ship.
Look at me.
Well, that is what it is. It's a ship in the air. It's a flying ship.
It's a flying
Airship.
boat. Yeah. Well, I think we.
I think we did it.
I don't know what. I wanted to say we beat the horse to death, but it did not get beat.
We
Set on fire.
we incinerated the horse.
We incinerated the horse. I feel
mean-
bad for the horse. They did not deserve this.
People are gonna look back on this podcast 2,000 years into the future and be like, "Damn, they really cared about horses back then."
In 2,000
like-
years, they're gonna be, what is horses? What is a horse?
What's a horse?
But
You
then they'll
imagine?
watch Uma Musume and be like, horses.
So apparently, there was a race of people who also were part horse, part human.
Yeah, maybe they shouldn't learn about horses. I think we can. Maybe they'll be better off.
Yeah, well, there's certain things that we will remove from memories.
Yeah.
2,000 years in the future.
Well, I'm gonna ask everyone to expose themselves one more time before we finish up the episode. What are you guys thinking of rating this season? It's exposing because we know Day's scores for season 1, and we're not sure if it'll be
That's
exposing
tough.
once again.
Just a second. I'm gonna look up what I scored the past ones.
Yeah, you're like, yeah.
Gotta log into Mel. It
So,
works
I'll go
today, so
first.
that's great.
I'll go first. Don't want to be the only one not exposing. So I'm thinking either an 8 or 9, but it really does depend on where they end off because I'm not going to give a higher score if we don't. I'm sorry. It's my thing. I've rated the arcs and the manga differently, whatever. Like we've been there, done that. But I'm not going to give an incomplete season the same score I would give a complete arc in another, another entry. So that's just my thing.
Yes.
But 8 or 9 depending on what happens.
I've given everything else 8s or 7s. I'm thinking 8 for this too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Hey.
thinking like a 3.5.
Two gasp. Not MP3.
He comes on like every week. He's like, they did such a good job with this, but not good enough. 3 out of 10.
No.
Not good enough.
I don't know. I think 7. I think 7 or 8. Kind of like Panic.
Yeah.
Depending on how it ends. There were some good parts. It wasn't like, I don't know. To me, it was like, it was fun. Good popcorn stuff.
A lot of
but,
combat still look very good, but it is like visually, it's not like tanky or
Season 3
anything.
yeah,
But it's got some very stiff faces here and there.
Yeah.
Some bad
So I'd say,
like
like,
profile shots.
Like 7.5 right now. If the last episode was like really bad,
Yeah.
and like they decided to go anime original and just like go.
Then I give it a 10. I swear to God.
No, they just end with like Zeke playing baseball with Eren, and then it's like they do like the FMAB handshake, and they're just like, now we're touching and we're going to kill all of us, and then it just ends.
That also makes me wonder, why haven't they just done it yet? I mean, they've met.
And that's my Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Like, they could have just done it, like, right this second, like, they met back in Marley. They could have just done it.
I don't think they could do the thing then,
Why not?
but I think they had more. I don't know. They couldn't do because they.
Eren was the founder. Zeke has royal blood.
No, they had shit to do. I forget. It's paths, man. I don't know.
It was important. I don't know, paths, whatever.
For reference, hey, that makes this like your second favorite season of Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Like just for reference, because I was looking up your scores and I was like, yeah, I think that's like high for you.
That does,
Right.
yeah. I would agree with that, too.
It's probably my second highest season for Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I think Return to Shinganshima is my favorite one.
I think that's my favorite arc too, even though I know some people are critical of the adaptation, but I haven't technically read that part of the manga, so I can plead ignorance.
Wow.
So gamer moves.
Gamer moves.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my favorite arc thus far. I do love that arc a lot. And I think that's my favorite thus far too, but I will see. Maybe this one will do too, but it's tough because we got a full arc in that core.
A Full Metal arc.
Full Metal
Shit.
arc.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. But yeah, we have good vibes for this season overall. I think some people will be like 10 out of 10 best adaptation, and I think I'm probably the closest to that, but I don't like 100% agree. But other people,
It's had a very
Other
different
peop-
feel from past seasons, but I really like it.
yeah, yeah,
Other
100%.
people would be like, when I found out they cut things from season 4, I was so disappointed.
I can't wait to get to that. Now that might be some pogs.
That would be some bugs.
Yeah, but
Plus, it
until
started
then,
with a time skip, and I'm a sucker for time skips.
do love that for you. But I guess until then, we will time skip to next week, and we'll have
Hey.
the last episode, all things considered. No earthquakes interfering.
Please.
Yeah, good vibes to Japan and everyone there. It didn't sound like there were too many people affected, but
Yeah,
talking
just in
to
case.
people about-
Good vibrations, not the bad ones.
Oh my gosh. But also, like, stay safe. At least in the U.S., and I know that it's a lot easier for people to get vaccines now. So when you're eligible, just try and stay safe, so that we can keep coming back and keep talking about anime.
I'm on
together.
track to get mine in like June. I'm literally
I'm
in
getting-
the last demographic that's gonna get it.
I'm getting mine tomorrow because I found a back alley.
Oh shit!
behind
Find a
the
back alley
hospital.
doctor.
I am not exaggerating. I literally found a legitimate back alley vaccine. I'm so excited to say that. I'm not joking. I am not
So what
joking.
is it?
Fluid.
Moderna,
So my-
Pfizer? Which one is it?
It is one of those, but it is my instructions are my favorite thing. I'm going behind a hospital in their back alley,
With a
and I'm not
blindfold.
getting out of my car. Yeah, with a blindfold. Might lose a kidney. We'll find out. So
From the
but
comfort of your
yeah.
own car.
yeah,
never been
So
easier.
I mean,
Yeah.
no, what could go wrong?
So if Shy isn't here next week, you know what happened.
Exactly. If I die, like Shaw like comes over and tries to hang out, but is in Titan form and decides to just eat the roof off my house.
Oh yeah, it's a Titan injection. This is all a part of
It's an
the
injection.
Eldian
Shaw's coming-
Reformation
I'm
Society.
getting the founding Titan, guys. It's happening now, right here,
Yeah.
right now.
No, we. Shall's gonna turn into that one Titan that was Historia's dad.
That's why they call it Big Pharma. It's because it's run by Titans.
You'll feel it from New York when I turn into the Centipede Titan and just destroy the entire state.
Amazing.
I'm excited. We got a lot to look forward to. They're just calling it the Centipede Titan. I don't give a shit. That's a Centipede Titan. Fuck it. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully everyone can stay safe, stay well, stay hyped.
Stay tuned.
So yeah, it'll be exciting. Stay tuned. Yeah,
Hey.
It'll be exciting because we will have next week's episode, and then we're probably a couple weeks away from the last chapter of Attack on Titan. So if you're an anime only,
I feel like I've been hearing that for 2 years now. Final chapter,
but
right around the corner.
No, but this is the real final chapter. So if you want to stay unspoiled, you should probably just mute everything. Just don't go on Twitter, honestly. Just don't do it. If you don't want to get
general,
spoiled.
it doesn't even matter if you don't want spoilers. Just don't go on
You want to
Twitter.
have a better life, just don't go on Twitter.
Yeah, just don't do it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, protect yourself because the spoilers and the spoiler tags will not protect you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
But until next week, stay
frosty.
stay attacked. Don't stay
And
attacked.
don't drink wine that might have spinal fluid in it.
Right.
Don't drink the wine, guys. All right. Have a
Okay,
good
cool.
week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Well,
And there we go.